Hello and welcome to my research speech about the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I appreciate y'all being here and I appreciate the host for allowing me to speak here today. My goal here is to capture your interest in Spyro and introduce some facts about Spyro that those of you who play the game may or may not know. Without further ado, let's dive into my speech. According to an article written in 2019 by Jonathan Dornbush, located on the IGN website, the Spyro Reignited trilogy came out on November 13th, 2018. It's available for multiple consoles, including Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Steam. It consists of 3 games on one single disc that you can easily switch back and forth between to make it less of a hassle versus changing discs. My topic is Spyro Reignited Trilogy video games, and what I will be speaking to you today is what inspired the remaster, information about the games I knew from playing, and information I found out by researching them. Spyro is a huge part of my childhood, and I'm excited to share information about it with you today. I briefly discussed Spyro Reignited Trilogy is 3 remaster games in one single disc. Now I'd like to explain to you more about the original 3 games to get a feel for what Spyro is and give you an insight as to why they were remastered. As I mentioned, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy is a remaster of the first 3 original Spyro games. What is a remaster, you ask? It is when a game is released sometime after its original creation with essentially the same storyline but better graphics. Sometimes there are small tweaks made to the game as well. Why were the first 3 games remastered and what makes them so special? Stick around to find out. The first Spyro game consists of Spyro, a small purple dragon, on a mission to free members of his family from being turned to stone. The villain in the game, Gnasty Gnorc, turned them all into stone after they called him ugly in an interview the dragons had with the journalist. In addition to freeing the dragon, Spyro sets out on a quest to defeat Gnasty Gnorc once and for all. On an information section of the Insomniac Games website, the creators of Spyro, it says that the Spyro game was released on September 9th, 1998 and was simply called Spyro the Dragon. They also state that originally Gnasty Gnorc was created to kill the dragons, but in the end we thought that would be too harsh, so we settled for turning them into stone. The second Spyro game consists of Spyro being transported to a different realm than where he was in the previous game. He found himself in a place where he was the only dragon. He was summoned to the place Avalor by a professor attempting to summon a fierce creature to free the citizens from Ripto, a demon that took over Avalor. Though not the fiercest creature the professor expected due to Spyro's small size, Spyro defeated Ripto and Avalor was reclaimed by the people. According to the Insomniac Games website, the second Spyro was released on November 2nd, 1999 and is called Spyro Riptor's Rage. The creator of Insomniac Games, Ted Price, said that in an interview that we wanted to do something different this time and reintroduce the dragons in a future sequel. The idea to transport Spyro to a different realm to fight a new villain was my idea. The third Spyro consists of Spyro once again going to a different realm, but this time it was of his own choice and to a realm where the dragons originate from. Spyro traveled to the Forgotten Realms because an evil sorceress kidnapped all the unhatched dragon eggs from where the dragons currently live. The reason for Spyro traveling by himself is because other dragons couldn't fit into the transportation device as Spyro could. Once the Forgotten Realms, Spyro embarks on his quest to recover each dragon egg and defeat the sorceress. According to Insomniac Games website, the third Spyro was released on October 24th, 2000 and is called Spyro Year of the Dragon. Justin Edwards, the developer of the game, said in an interview that the idea of the sorceress was inspired by my pet lizard Larry. The sorceress herself is a lizard, and one year I dressed Larry up as a wizard for Halloween. told Ted Prince about it, and he drew his sorceress based off of that. I've given you some information about the first 3 Spyro games because that's going to give you a better understanding of why they were remastered in the first place. In order for any game to be given a remaster, it needs to be an interesting game. Now I'd like to further dive into the concept of why the trilogy was created. There are several reasons why the Spyro Reignited trilogy was created. Let's look into those reasons and hear what the developers behind the trilogy have to say about it. What originally inspired the remaster was the CEO of Toys for Bob's love for the original 3 games. The CEO, Paul Ritchie III, played the games as a young adult and wanted to bring it back with better graphics and new features. Toys for Bob was produced a few other remasters of other classic games, so when the opportunity arose to do so for Spyro, they jumped at the chance. In an article on the Toys for Bob's website in 2018, Paul Ritchie said that Spyro was a huge part of my younger years, and I wanted to bring the games back with the same classic feel as the originals, but with better graphics and a few interesting twists. The want to remaster the game isn't enough though. Toys for Bob had to look at what type of games were trending at the time, as well as evaluate how many people would actually want a remaster. Lucky cartoon-styled games favored very well, and to steal the deal, they took a poll on their website to see how many people would want a remaster. On the Spyro page of Toys for Bob's website, created in 2018, it states, "We did a poll to see who would want a Spyro remaster. To our surprise, 26,200 people participated, and out of that number, 90% were in favor of a remaster." And so the wheels of production began to turn, and on November 13, 2018, the Spyro Reignited trilogy was released. Today I've covered quite a bit of information about Spyro, but I wish I would have had the time to tell you even more. I hope my speech today has encouraged you to try out the game yourselves if you do play video games, and if not, I hope I have at least entertained you with what I had to say about the games. Thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed my speech.